Hello, my name is John Hall-Floyd, and I will be diving into digesting the problem. I'll be going into food waste, and then I'll dive into anaerobic digestion, and then how anaerobic digestion is being utilized here in Raleigh. So, what is food waste? Food waste is any solid or liquid food substance, raw or cooked, which is discarded. And then right here, I have a couple graphs. And the top right graph depicts how much food waste is wasted annually in the United States. So my first source I used was the EPA 2019 Food Waste Report. And then the second one I used the Refed 2025 US Food Waste Report. And as you can see, food waste per year is increasing, with 2023 being the highest on the graph that I'm showing at 73.9 million tons per year. And if you look at that bottom graph, you can see the per capita food waste. And you can see in 2023, once again, is the highest at 436 pounds per person annually that is wasted. So food waste and how it's being, where it's coming from. So food waste comes from many different sectors. One of those sectors being the residential sector, which is about 26.5 million tons per year. That is the largest sector. And then the second sector I wanted to focus on was the restaurant industry, which is about 18.3 million tons per year. And the total that this graph is coming from is from the 2019 EPA food waste report, specifically the year 2019. So right here is the different food waste pathways. So on the left, you have where the food waste is coming from. So you have food retail, the food service, and then you also have households. And on the right, you have where food waste is going, with the largest sector being landfill. And then if you look at the top, you can kind of see anaerobic digestion. And what is anaerobic digestion? So anaerobic digestion is a sequence of process by which microorganisms break down biodegradable material in the absence of oxygen. So the way it works is that pretty much it takes a complex carbohydrate train and is basically broken down because of the microorganism. It's broken down into smaller monomers. And then after that, the molecules are converted into volatile fatty acids. And then in that final stage, that's where we get the methane and then the CO2. So what is co-digestion? Co-digestion is the process where you have multiple organic waste streams. So that could be sewage sludge or food waste. And the reason that's utilized is to optimize the carbon to nitrogen ratio, which increases the methane production by up to 25 to 50%. You may be thinking, why is that important? Well, Raleigh just built a new water um, waste treatment facility called the Neuse River Resource Recovery Facility, and they have the capacity to handle 75 million gallons per day and produce about 40 dry tons of biosolids per day. And those biosolids can be utilized in land applications, considering that they are Class A. And then also it produces the dewater sludge, which is can be utilized for commercial composting. And then this facility also serves seven different municipalities: Raleigh, Garner, and Wake Forest. It also produces um, that methane that I was talking about in my previous slides, where you get the methane and CO2 at the end of the anaerobic digestion process. So why is that important? So Raleigh is currently going through the process of converting their gas-powered buses into EV and biodiesel buses. So when this paper came out from the Raleigh Community Climate Action Plan in 2023, it was showing the trajectory and the path of how Raleigh was transitioning. But currently, there's actually 76 compressed natural gas buses that are being utilized in Raleigh. And that natural gas that was produced at that water treatment facility, that's where that gas is coming from. So they produce that methane gas, and then the buses use it to get people from point A to point B. So the emissions. So one diesel bus is equivalent to 76 compressed natural gas buses, which from the beginning that those compressed natural gas buses have been used, is saved about 14,600 plus metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions, and that's since 2018. So right here is just my resources of where I got my information from. Hopefully you found this informative, and have a great day.